Welcome to Lemoore City Council Chambers located at 429 C Street. This is the May 6th meeting. Please silence all electronic devices as a courtesy to those in attendance. Thank you. If you could please stand for the invocation given by Kimberly Nelson from Lifeway Church and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Father God, we come before you, Lord, and we thank you, Father, for being so faithful, for being an ever-present help in times of trouble, Father God. We thank you, Lord, that we can come before you right now with this council, Father God, with Madam Mayor, with our community, Lord, and we know that you, Lord Jesus, will guide this meeting and you will guide the community and that you will put peace upon everybody in this room. I pray for your wisdom, Lord God, to go forth, Lord God, that you would use our leaders for your glory and that you would protect the citizens of Lemoore from the top down, Lord. And thank you for all those who serve this community. In Jesus' name, amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Ready?
Councilmember Brewster,
Here.
Councilmember Lyons,
Down here.
Councilmember Cruz,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Gornick,
Here.
and Mayor Matthews.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda approval, additions and or deletions.
Yes, so I had one change. I was going to ask to move item 2.1 to the beginning of the meeting, recognition of Central Valley Community Foundation and PG&E donation, because we have some representatives here from the Little League that need to be on their way. However, PG&E's rep is about 8 minutes out, so maybe we can take item 1-1 and then do 2-1 right after that.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Okay, so we'll go ahead and go to item 1-1, audit report for year end June 30th, 2024.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. Thank you for having me here tonight. We have completed the audit for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2024. Just beyond the table of content is the independent auditor's report. This is where we issued an unqualified opinion on the city's books and records, stating that they are in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. So overall, a clean audit opinion once again for the city of Lemoore. Getting into the body of the financial statements, I'll just make a few highlights. Pages 6 and 7 have to do with the overall complete statement of net position of the city. This is total assets and liabilities, including all capital assets and all liabilities. Overall, the city has just over or just about a total net position of 169.7 million. Getting into the actual fund financial statements on page 9, the one I'd like to just mention is the general fund, since this directs a lot of the public services that the city. On page 9, you'll notice that the total fund balance is just over 15.2 million. And on page 11, you'll see that overall there was a $2.4 million net decrease in fund balance for the fiscal year ended June 30, 2024. Of that 15.2 million fund balance, 13.4 million of that is unassigned, meaning that it's not restricted or committed to other purposes. One of the things that changed with this year's financial statements is GASB 100. Has to do with fund classification, so that you'll notice there's some language moving some funds from formerly non-major to major, or formerly non-major to major, back and forth. And so there's some different criteria. We used to just kind of move those back and forth as we saw fit from the back of the financial statements to the front, based on some criteria, but now we do a fund reclassification to move those from the front to the back. On the page 14 is the proprietary funds. These are your enterprise funds that operate off user charges. All of these funds are operating as intended. There in the middle of the page, you'll see operating income was just over 3.3 million for the water fund, $190,000 for the sewer fund, and $923,000 for the refuse fund.
Could you,
After that, you get into the body of or the notes to the financial statements. This gives you more detailed information on all the significant assets and liabilities of the city. There's quite a bit of information included in here, giving the reader of the financial statements more detailed information. The city is in compliance with its debt with its current debts. It's making those timely. Also in compliance with any debt covenants. Thing else I wanted to kind of mention was we've been tracking the pension liability for a few years. That's starting on page, let's see, get there, page 52. And the city currently, this is done based on an actuarial study from CalPERS. They're using a current discount rate of 6.9%. And if you look at actually page 54, the liability is at just over 18.7 million. This also, there's a little table there that shows how much that liability can fluctuate depending on a 1% increase or decrease in the discount rate. And so we continue to receive those updated figures from CalPERS each year and reflect them accordingly. Page 59 is the footnote explaining the accounting changes due to GASB 100 and some of the funds that were affected by that and how they were merged or moved from non-major to major. There's also some budget to actual comparisons schedules on page 63. And then there's a 10-year history following that of the pension plan and the factors involving the calculation of that pension liability, including covered payroll, which is a big factor in the actuarial computation. And then going towards the very end of the financial statements are the non-major funds. These are various special revenue funds, capital projects funds. All of those are also operating as intended. Overall, clean audit, as I mentioned, for the city of Lemoore. City is in good financial position. There's also a letter we issued to the city council letting you know we didn't have any difficulties in completing the audit, didn't have any disagreements with management, didn't identify any uncorrected misstatements. So once again, a great job by the city staff to get this done. It may seem like we're not very timely, but I was just telling Jocelyn, I think I'm only halfway through the city audits for June 30, 2024. There's just a lot more that goes into these now, and they're getting dragged out longer and longer. But a lot of work goes into this, so I just thank the city staff for helping us get this done. I can now take any questions. Yeah.
Any questions from council?
yeah, I've got a couple. So with respect to the CalPERS, CalSTRS,
Mm-hmm.
are we meeting our pension liability?
Yeah. Yeah. You're making the required contributions here.
Also, the golf course,
Mm-hmm.
where are those revenues going to come from that we owe?
I don't remember. Is golf course in the general fund?
I think
or-
next year we have a payment.
Oh, it's its own. Let me see if it's in the back and probably a special revenues fund. Let's see here. Get to the fund financials. I don't see it broken out. Is it combined? Do you remember? I don't remember off the top of my head which fund the golf course is combined with. Yeah, I don't remember which fund that's combined with at this time. I'd have to look a little closer. Let me see.
Thank you.
Any other questions from council? Are there any questions from the public? Comments, concerns?
Okay, yeah, now I see it's an enterprise fund. So if you look at pages 14, 15, and 16, you'll see the golf course activity there. So that's operating off of lease revenue. Well, there's not much activity actually, so. But yeah, that's on pages 14, 15, and 16, the golf course.
Would you like to go up to page 15?
Yep.
You want to go to page 15?
Yeah, there's a couple items there I'd like to ask you a question on. Couple items I'd like to ask a question on there. You had said the trying to find it here. The revenue that we receive from investments. That we have our pooled investments, is that listed here?
That would be more, if you wanted to see citywide, that'd be on page 7 under unrestricted investment earnings of about 1.8 million towards the.
Did you
toward
break
the
that
bottom.
out by fund? In other words,
Yes, each fund has its own investment earnings line.
and um, did you show us that?
That would be the use of money and property. For example, on the golf course fund on page 15, 123,092,
What page is that on?
page 15.
Did you go to page 15, please? Okay. Use of money.
So
of
the
property.
non-operating revenues, those are your investment earnings on the use of money and property.
Use of money and property, okay. So each fund is broken out, that's how much money is invested in the,
Yeah, that's how much they earn based on their cash balance, their investments.
okay. Thank you.
Any other questions from council? Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Have a good evening.
We'll wait a couple minutes or. Oh, he's walking in right now. Momentary delay. Okay, now we can go to item 2-1, recognition of Central Valley Community Foundation PG&E donation. Ms. Trejo.
Thank you. So this item is on the agenda to recognize our partners at PG&E. Mr. Alonso is here on behalf of PG&E. And we had reached out regarding a need that the city had to purchase AED machines. We needed one for the Little League snack bar and one for the police department lobby. So PG&E was gracious enough to make a financial donation to the city to purchase 2 of these AED machines. And so we wanted to publicly recognize PG&E, also invite Little League to attend, and of course, the chief always has to be here. And so these AED machines will be installed in the concession stand at the Little League and also in the lobby at the police department. And so if Mr. Alonso wanted an opportunity to speak, or if the chief or anybody from Little League wanted to speak, we just wanted to highlight the community partnership that we had in bringing these organizations together to acquire these machines that were needed.
Well, good afternoon, Mayor, council members, and City Manager Trejo. Nathan Alonso, your local government affairs representative from Pacific Gas and Electric. It is with a great deal of joy that we're donating the funding for something quite this electrifying. And we hope that nobody has to use it in an unfortunate situation, but it's always better to be prepared than not. And we hope that this will help us always be ahead of the game and prepared in case a medical emergency happens. So thank you guys for your partnership, and we're happy to do this and anything else that we can for this community.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Would you guys like to take a photo?
Tito and Kyle, get up.
I heard there was going to be a demonstration.
Yeah. We'll do it on Tito.
No, thank you.
One, two, three. One, two, three. Thank you. Perfect.
There's a filter.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Thank you, sir. Now I lost my place. Oh, item 1-2. First draft budget review, Ms. Valdez.
Good evening, council, city residents here tonight. I am Jocelyn Valdez, your finance director for the city of Lemoore. Today is the budget workshop number 4 to go over the draft budget proposed for fiscal year 25-26. The City of Lemoore budget is comprised of 73 functioning funds. The combined revenues and expenditures create the city's operational budget. The projected city beginning balance is $74,152,000. Our proposed revenues are $49,141,000. Our proposed expenditures total $60,407,000, leaving us an ending balance of $62,886,000. Reviewing our proposed position allocations for fiscal year 26, we actually have no changes moving from fiscal 25 to fiscal 26, no increase of staff. Looking at our general fund, first reviewing our fiscal year 25 general fund projected balances. We have a beginning fund balance of $14,154,000. Our proposed revenues are $15,721,000. Our expenditures consisting of our personnel, indirect allocation, operating cost, capital, debt and transfers total $15,456,000, leaving us an ending fund balance at $14,419,000. A difference of $265,000 to the surplus. Expenses have come in at right about $1 million under budget due to savings that we saw in salaries and insurance with the change of staff. Looking at fiscal year 26 general fund proposed budget, we will begin with the $14,419,000. We are proposing revenues of $17.9 million. With our expenditures of $17.3 million, leaving us an ending fund balance of $14,696,000, giving us a surplus at the end of the year, $585,966. So as you will see in the comparison to 2025, our personnel expenses are projected to increase by about 12%, even without adding any new positions. Our operating expenditures are projected to increase about 10%, and our revenue is projected to increase about 10.5%. In regards to the surplus of $585,000, please keep in mind that this is still a rough draft, and this number could change. We do have meetings in the next week with HDL regarding our sales and district and use tax, so those estimates could change. We are also looking to spend down our development impact fees. As we look to put those projects in place, we will see a reduction in the investment income that we receive with those. Okay, so we will not recommend an unbalanced budget to council, but these numbers could change as we look into these projects and estimates. The general fund revenues proposed, looking at fiscal year 26, we proposed a total revenue of 17.9 million, which is an increase of approximately 2.3 million over fiscal year 25. The major factors to this is the new district use tax that we just passed and the increased investment income that we are receiving. Going on to our proposed expenditures by category. This was just give you a visual representation of where our expenditures go. More than half of it does go to personnel costs, a significant amount, the 6.5 to our operating expenditures. And off to the right, we do have it broken down per department. Okay, looking at our enterprise funds, which consist of water, wastewater, refuse, and fleet. The overall fund balance for fiscal 25 projections. Each fund is operating at a surplus this fiscal year. There were multiple CIP projects that were not completed. So each fund does have a positive balance at the end of this year. Water fund had an increase of 468,000, wastewater 193,000, refuse 163,000, and fleet, while they are operating at a negative balance, did see an increase of 243,000 as well. Looking at our water fund proposed fiscal 26 budget, they have a beginning fund balance of 12.5 million. We have proposed revenues, which include their fees for service and investment interest of 12 million. Their expenditures, including again, personnel, interest, indirect allocation, operating expenses, capital, debt, and transfers, a total of 10.6 million, leaving them with a fund balance of 13.8 million, an increase of 1.3 million. As you'll see, the water fund does look healthy, and the proposed annual expenditures are lower than the proposed annual revenue, indicating a rate increase is not needed at this time. Fiscal 26 wastewater fund proposed budget. We have a beginning fund balance of 9.3 million. Our proposed revenues are 4.4 million, consisting of their fees for service and investment interest. Their proposed expenditures, 9.8 million. And their ending fund balance is 3.8 million, with a difference of a negative 5.4 million. When it comes to the wastewater fund, we are spending down the fund balance in order to operate. Our proposed expenditures are about 9.8, while our proposed revenue is only 4.4, indicating that we should undergo a rate study to determine if a rate increase is warranted. Looking at fiscal 26 refuse fund proposed budget, they begin with 4.4 million. They have proposed revenues of 5 million, proposed expenditures of just at 5 million, and an ending fund balance at 4.420, giving them a difference to the positive of $1,400. In the refuse fund, we are getting pretty close to expending all budgeted revenue. Our proposed expenditures are pretty close to our revenues, which means that we need to consider a rate study to determine if a rate increase is warranted. Lastly, we have our fiscal 26 fleet fund proposed budget. They have a beginning fund balance of a negative 403,000, a proposed revenue of 1.4 million, and proposed expenditures of 1.2 million, with an ending fund balance of a negative 273. They will see a surplus of 129,000. So our fleet enterprise is an internal service fund in that it services all city vehicles and equipment and recoups their cost through reimbursement basis. This department should operate as a break-even balance fund. and is currently working towards achieving this goal. And that is all I have.
Do we have any questions or comments from council?
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very good presentation. And
Thank
you
you.
too, City Manager. Great job. I do have some questions though.
Okay.
The when you talk about the refuse rate study, I've only been on council a short time. And we've kicked that football around quite a bit. It looks like the margin for going into next year is pretty slim. I mean, why would we do a rate study? Why would we do a rate study rather than just increase the rate? Or are we looking for an amount that we want to increase the rate to?
Yeah, so typically, and Lemoore's not the only city. A lot of cities in the valley contract with probably the only person that I'm aware of in California that does these rate studies. You may recall Dan Bergman with IGS. So he does these rate studies throughout California and determines like a 5-year plan of if a rate increase is needed and when. So we probably wouldn't need a rate increase in the next few months. But he may say, you know, January 1st of 2026, you may need this percentage of an increase. He may say it's not warranted. Based on the numbers, it doesn't look that way. It likely will come back that we need a rate increase. But until he does that study, we won't know what that rate increase looks like. And so that item is on the agenda on the consent calendar today, asking for authorization to approve an agreement with him to conduct the rate study. That's not saying that rates are going to increase. That's just authorizing him to do the study to determine what those rates should be set at in order to operate that enterprise fund.
Well, my only opinion is that we've looked at this for at least almost 3 years in a row in terms of what, and it got us into the discussion with outsourcing because of the costs, et cetera. And my only thought is that sooner or later, whether we outsourced it or not, or kept it in-house, we were going to have to address a rate increase. Based upon what you have here, it looks to me like we're there. I'm just saying, I'd rather save the money and not hire a consultant and just do a rate increase for the next year, not implementing for next fiscal year, but not this fiscal. That's all. So could you tell us, in one of your slides, you talk about the revenue from the investment fund and from the sales tax.
Mhm.
And I'm assuming the sales tax is pretty much an estimate based upon June, July, and August, right? Or
Yeah, so
Okay.
our revenue sales tax projections usually come from HDL. So we used rough numbers. They're supposed to get us their actual projections at the end of May. So those are subject to change. But it's based on historical data of what each business is paying in sales tax.
okay,
And it includes the new 1%.
okay. And then the last question I have is on the personnel. Does that personnel number include all of the personnel with respect to the call center?
I believe so. The
Ye-
122 number includes the dispatchers.
Yes, it does. Mhm.
Okay.
I just have one quick question about the refuse fund. Was that with the purchase of one truck or two truck?
One
Two
truck.
trucks. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Mhm.
Anyone else have any questions, comments?
The rate study. So to Frank's point on the not doing a consultant or doing a
I'm
consultant.
gonna interject real quick because that's on the consent calendar, so I just want to make sure we don't get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah,
Unless it has to do with this
Well, with
portion of the budget.
Yes, the
Okay.
budget portion of it. What's the cost of it?
The cost of him doing the rate study.
Yes.
I'd have to pull that item on the consent calendar real quick to look at it. But I will say that I've worked with him since 2009, I believe, with Mr. Bergman, and his numbers are usually pretty accurate. So I would be hesitant to not pay him to do it and try to figure it out ourselves because he's been doing it for so long, that I wouldn't want to propose unwarranted rate increases because they have to be justified. And he's able to do that very well, where that would be any of our first time trying to do it ourselves. And I don't know that we are ready to do that right now.
Now, my next question was, is city staff capable of doing it?
In my opinion, not right now.
That's it for me.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the public on this item? Mr. Walker?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, Council. Alex Walker, speaking as a private citizen right now. I just wanted to reflag a discussion that's been ongoing at City Council since 2022. I'm reminded of it because of discussion of a potential rate study. I wanted to encourage the council to consider a wage study for the city's employees. This has been something that's been discussed for the past couple of years. Our city employees do an incredible job serving our community, and just wanted to reflag that for council's attention because it has been an ongoing discussion and that are can being kicked down the road because we want to make sure that we're paying competitive wages, that people are being paid what they deserve to be paid, and that we have a full understanding of the city's financial obligations. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And sorry, just to jump back, that cost is 33,000 for the rate study, but that's paid for by the Refuse Enterprise Fund.
It's also in the staff report.
Leaves us somebody. Oh, thanks.
Any other questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, thank you for that presentation. We'll go ahead and move on to public comment. Public comment will be in accordance with the attached policy. This time is reserved for matters of the members of the audience to address the city council on items of interest that are not on the agenda and are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the council. It is recommended that the speakers limit their comments to 3 minutes each, and it is requested that no comments be made during this period on items on the agenda. The council is prohibited by law from taking any action on matters discussed that are not on the agenda prior to addressing the council. Any handouts for council will be provided to the city clerk for distribution to the council and the appropriate staff. The public will have an opportunity to comment on items on the agenda once the item has been called and the mayor opens the item to the public. Is there any public comment at this time? Mr. Walker.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm Alex Walker, now speaking for Rotary. In addition to my cowboy hat, now putting on my Rotary hat. A couple very exciting announcements from the Rotary Club of Lemoore. First and foremost, we're proud to be sponsoring Rockin' Downtown, which will be June 13th, June 20th, and June 27th. In addition to the Kings Lions Club and Lemoore Lions Club, Lemoore Rotary is proud to be one of the band sponsors for June 20th. The Dirty Papas, I didn't name them, but I heard that their band is really incredible. I'm excited to be rocking downtown with the community. In addition to that, the Rotary Club of Lemoore is really proud to be giving 8 $750 scholarships to Lemoore students this year. This May will be the Lemoore Middle College grad night, and then there will be another one for Lemoore High School in June. We'll be sharing photos from those events and details as those events occur, but just wanted to flag for your attention that we're really proud to be continuing our scholarship program. Wanted to give a huge shout out to all the city staff and community vendors who were at the Easter egg hunt. It was a really incredible event. Lemoore Rotary was proud to donate 5,000 of the eggs that were there. We met your challenge, Madam Mayor, and I think it's fair to say that the kids were well served, having all the candy that they need to enjoy the Easter holiday. And in addition to that, we're just incredibly proud to announce that we signed up over 100 kids to the Dolly Parton Imagination Library program. Dolly Parton's Imagination Library is a free service where children 0 to 5 can get a free book every single month. These books can be in English, Spanish, or bilingual. You get your pick. It's very easy to sign up. I highly encourage Lemoore families to go online to Dolly Parton imaginationlibrary.com. Select Kings County as your area and sign up for free. It is super easy. It takes less than 2 minutes. And after verification, you'll be receiving those books every single month until your child turns 5. It helps promote literacy in Lemoore, and part of Lemoore Rotary's mission is promote literacy in Lemoore. As such, we have our little free library again at Lemoore Christian Aid. That was our inaugural library. We have some more to be announced very soon. Very excited for when those construction dates are going to be noted, they're going to look very different than the other one, but in a very exciting way. I won't spoil any of the details or surprises, but it's an incredibly exciting time at Lemoore Rotary Club. And if you're interested in serving your community in a variety of different ways, whether it be community events or promoting literacy, I highly encourage any resident to either make a donation to the Lemoore Rotary Club or come join us and be a Rotarian yourselves. And we'll put you right to work serving our community. It's incredibly rewarding. I know Councilmember Cornick was a former Rotarian and he can attest to that fact, but really want to thank council for their time, and I yield the rest of my time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comment? Mr. McKay?
Hi, my name is Jay McKay, 15219th Avenue. Recently run into some issues with the cannabis farm. They've continued after they've planted, they're running cannons. And these cannons are basically anywhere from 6 to 17 times a minute that I've timed. So if you take basically it's 600 times an hour, they're running 12, 13 hours a day. We're talking 6,000, 7,000 times a day. I realize there's a right to farm act and there's some things that can go around it. I've read other ordinances where basically if it becomes a nuisance, which that's what I'm here to determine, not a lawyer, but what's a nuisance? 6,000, 7,000 times a day, would somebody honk your horn in front of your residence 6,000, 7,000 times a day be normal, or would it be a nuisance? Basically, it affects my quality of life, my family's quality of life. On different occasions, they've left multiple machines running at night, all night. Generally, there's a bunch of machines. I don't believe they're all of them. They left one where they malfunctioned or what. On April 17th, I called at 1:20 a.m. in the morning. They dispatched Lemoore PD. Lemoore PD called me and asked where they were coming from. I told them. She said there was nobody at the guard shack, nobody cut to contact. So I went to work the next day with 2 hours of sleep. So we listened to this. This continues on. Easter Sunday, this continued. My daughter posted something. Mayor Matthews seen that. Actually reached out and texted me and said, was this going on currently? I said, it is. So she advised that I call it in. I did. They were talked to again on Monday, quiet Monday. Tuesday morning, it continued again. I called it in. They sent somebody out there, back and forth a little bit through code enforcement. I believe they were kind of researching the code. I was in there 4 times and finally it come down to the next time it went on that when I believe it was Lieutenant Matt Smith went out and talked to him and said, I thought we had it settled, but they said their workers turned it on by accident. But they were illegal. Do I want to press charges or do? So I did. So my question to you is, I'm just on the other side of Jackson Avenue, 2/10 of a mile. I'll guess. Where do we draw the line? I understand these are wanting to put more by the other side of the road, by the property. We're going to put these same cannons closer to golf course homes, closer to homes on 18th Avenue. I kind of don't know where to go with this, but I think we need to look at the ordinance on this. It's crazy. I mean, I'm just asking if you guys can look at this ordinance, if there's anything that we can do to change this. Personally, I think there needs to be about a mile if they're going to run these cannons from any residential dwelling. If you wanted to listen to it, they're done with it now. I've had a week apiece. But if you sat on the south end of Jackson Avenue and listened to it, you'd think you were in a war zone. And this is all for birds, supposedly. From my understanding, they don't let anybody in to see anything. So do we really know? Do they have a bird problem? Do they say they have a bird problem? So just here tonight to ask the council to look into changing the ordinance if it's possible. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other public comment at this time? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to item 2-2, recognition of Mildred Gaunt for donation. Ms. Trejo?
Thank you. So these are my favorite agenda items. When we have somebody in the community that sees a need and addresses the city and says, hey, I have this idea, I see this void in the city and I want to come forward to help fix it. And so we were contacted by Miss Mildred Gaunt, who's here in the first row. And she said that she noticed that there's not as many children playing at Veterans Memorial Park as she recalls seeing in the past. And she feels that maybe the reason why is because there's not as much shade as there used to be. There were several trees that were removed over the years. And so she said, if I made a donation to the city to purchase trees, would you guys plant them and take care of them? And we agreed. And so she made a donation of over $3,000 from her personal money in order for the city to purchase trees from Hoffman's Nursery. And then she also had an idea that she wanted high school kids to help plant those trees so that they could take some ownership of it and have the benefit of watching those trees grow over the years. And so I invited her tonight. I asked her if she wanted to speak, and she didn't really want to unless she's changed her mind. But I just wanted to publicly recognize her because it's a great example of somebody seeing a need in the community and coming forward to offer a solution rather than just complain that there's no trees in the park.
Thank you, Mrs. Gaunt.
Yeah, yes.
Are you sure you're not reconsidering speaking?
Speech.
Well, I'd like to thank all of the city employees who helped make this really happen. I went to Marissa first, and she was the leader that got the public works involved. And I think it was Nick that got all the estimates and everything. And he also talked to, is it Joe Jr.? Tree, whatever.
Yeah.
And he volunteered to go down to the Veterans Park and trim up some trees that needed it badly and take out some that were dead or just about dead and that were a danger. And he also came down and he worked with the city staff and the boys from Jameson that did come. 7 had volunteered, but only 3 showed up. But those 3 really worked with the city staff, and the city men actually gave them lots of encouragement and told them how they needed to take pride in their contribution, that they were part of the community, and to bring their parents and all their relatives down and show them what they did. And so I thought that was really well done. And Junior actually went around to every tree as they were planting them and made sure that they followed his directions on planting and staking and doing everything. And the men all spoke about how, and he explained to them why they needed to do it this way and so forth. And the men spoke about how they had learned so much more about trees from Joe, but he was there all up as a volunteer. So you had lots of people in the community volunteering to do that. So I'm glad that there's going to be more trees because we've just seen them come down, come down, come down. And that park has gotten to be hotter than heck every summer. And that's such a nice park and we need to keep it up. And so she was the one that really jump started it and got it going. And I'm glad you hired her. Such an improvement over what we've had the last too many years. That was embarrassment to the taxpayers. Have a great evening.
But Mrs. Gaunt, don't you go anywhere. I also want to let everybody know that Mrs. Gaunt, this is not her first donation to our city. She donates to the fire department quite a bit. And I remember one year you bought us that stair chair. And I have used that thing a number of times. I want to let you know that thing has saved my back many a times, taking people down flights of stairs. It's a very impressive piece of equipment. Mr. Walker, you'll get the privilege of learning all about it. But I wanted to also thank you for all that you've done for the fire department as well over the years.
Well, the fire department has done so much for this city for decades and decades and centuries, I guess now. And so, I mean, I don't know, most people are unaware, but you know, it's through donations throughout the years that when the fire department needed something new, they put a little article in the newspaper. And, you know, the building that shows off the old fire truck that was built by our volunteer firemen, but they just ask for donations of money to buy the materials that they needed to buy to do the project. And the same thing when they wanted, when they finally got the you know, that miracle thing for getting people out of cars.
Oh yeah, the jaws of life.
Yeah, the jaws of life. The Lemoore volunteers were the first ones in the entire county that had a jaws of life. And all of the county firemen and other cities were so jealous. And the men from our volunteers, every time there was a need for jaws of life, for quite some time, our men left their jobs and went to wherever the accident was or whatever. And, you know, they don't pat their own backs, but Lemoore volunteers were the very first ones with a jaws of life.
Thank you, Mrs. Gaunt.
And then they put on a show on how they use it, where everybody could come and see. And that was really good too. But they are so important, and this community needs to know just how important they are. And I know way back then, we had the lowest insurance rates in the entire county. I don't know if it's still true, but for decades and decades, I know it was true. And Hanford and other places were very jealous. Thanks.
I love
Thank you.
Everybody have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have item 2-3, proclamation 46th Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week. This is where I have to do a lot of reading. So the proclamation reads, proclamation by the mayor of the city of Lemoore, 56th Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week, May 4th through 10th, 2025. Whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas the office of, you're not the oldest of all of us, just so that's clear. Whereas the Office of the Professional Clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels, and whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. Whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the professional municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and internal professional organization. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the professional municipal clerk. Now therefore, by the mayor and the city council, we hereby proclaim the week of May 4th through 10th, 2025 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our professional municipal clerk, Marissa Avalos, and to all professional municipal clerks for their vital service they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. In witness whereof, I have set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Lemoore to be affixed the 6th day of May, 2025.
Yeah.
Should we make you take a picture?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Oh, yeah, how about that?
I can take the picture.
You're going to be in the picture. Now we have item 2-4, Proclamation National Public Works Week, May 18th through 24th, 2025. Proclamation by the Mayor of the City of Lemoore, National Public Works Week, May 18th through 24th, 2025. People, purpose, presence. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the City of Lemoore. And whereas the support of the community is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs such as water, sewers, streets, fleet maintenance, building maintenance, wastewater treatment, solid waste collection, and refuse operations. And whereas it is in public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the City of Lemoore to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works programs in the community. And whereas the year 2025 marks the 65th annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association, now therefore by the Mayor and City Council, we hereby proclaim the week of May 18th through 24th, 2025 as National Public Works Week in the City of Lemoore, and urge all citizens to join in paying tribute to our public works professionals and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our health and safety and advancing the quality of life for all. In witness whereof, I have set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Lemoore to be affixed the 6th day of May, 2025. Do we have any public works people in here today?
Crystal's here. She can take a picture with you guys.
Yay, Crystal.
One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Put it on your desk.
And with that, we'll go ahead and move on to department and city managers' reports.
Thank you. I have two before I invite the chief and our finance director up. So we just went over the proclamation for National Public Works Week, which is May 18th through the 24th. The city is going to be recognizing the Public Works Department with various events throughout the week, but we have put a flyer out asking the community to help stock their break room. So if you have items that you'd like to drop off, it could be things like Gatorade, popsicles, nuts, bottles of water, trail mix, pretzels, even thank you notes that we can hang along the walls in their break room. You can drop those off at the city office during our normal office hours, so Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we are going to stock their break room during National Public Works Week. The next item is we are going to be starting Mobile Mondays in the city office parking lot, which is located at 711 West Cinnamon Drive. We will have food trucks starting June 2nd. They are permitted to be there from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. They may not be there that whole time, but those are the hours they're allowed to be there. We are looking for vendors still. So if anybody's interested and has a food truck, you would need your proof of liability insurance, naming the city of Lemoore as additional insured, a valid city of Lemoore business license, a valid Kings County Health Department permit, and then the vendor fee is $30 to be there on that Monday. And that's all I have. And then the chief has a report, and then so does our finance director as soon as he's done.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Two things to put out. The Starbucks is hosting a Coffee with a Cop event next Monday, the 12th from 10 to noon. And then next Wednesday, the 14th, will be the Kings County Peace Officer Memorial. This will take place over at the Government Center in Hanford, beginning at 10 a.m. So we'll be out there. Thank you.
Oh, Chief. Oh,
Yes, sir.
Any comments about the comment we had from the public concerning the cannabis issue with the
Yeah.
and our ordinances that you might want to talk about it?
The ordinance is relatively clear in the fact of when you can and cannot use, an air cannon. There are some ag laws that are going to supersede, but we started the process on essentially issuing them a citation on the violation of our municipal code. In our municipal code, though, we have to kind of lay out the ongoingness of the noise disturbance, where when I found out about it on Monday, over, that this was occurring over Easter, Sunday, I just had our guys go out and, obviously work with Mr. Mead and there's an actual violation of the penal code that's relatively clear that kind of holds a little bit more weight, where they're going to have to go to court and justify it there. So that's kind of the route that we went.
Yeah, well, the other thing I was thinking about too was, I don't know when our ordinance, but if they're using that, they're probably using seed to plant rather than plants.
Correct. I think, yeah.
And maybe that's something we need to look at in terms of our ordinance if
well, and I think that, from what I've been
because that creates a
told,
nuisance,
from what I've been told, it's more so that the seeds that that the plant is producing that they're going after they harvest. Now, again, there's two sides to every story, and somewhere in the middle,
Yeah.
you know, typically lies the truth.
But if somebody go out there and do a bird count, I mean, you know, I mean.
Right. And again, you know, they're telling us that they've had falcons out there and that they tried to, this was their last resort.
Yeah,
But again, we're essentially the middleman in this situation, and we're gonna uphold both the LMC and the penal code, and we chose to go the
Yeah.
penal code route.
but they have, the other land that they have available, you know, we might be creating another nuisance for ourselves if that's something that we, you know, just something to look at. Yeah, thank you.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. Just a quick update on our enterprise permits and licensing system. We did officially go live with those on April 22nd. Now, if you wish to apply for a building permit or a business license, you can do so by going to our website. For building permits, you would go to Community Development, and the link takes you directly to our online portal for that. As well as if you're looking for a business license, you would go to the Finance tab, the business license, and it will again take you directly to our link. The first couple of days were a little rough. We worked through a couple of kinks, but for the most part, everything is working pretty smoothly. We do have a few tickets, but we do have a designated support person with us for the next 90 days. So anytime I have an issue, I call her and get things escalated, and she is hands-on working on it. And we have biweekly check-ins with her to make sure that everything is running as smoothly as possible with this system. Also, we do have the My Civic app. It is called Connect Lemoore, and it is available on both Apple and Android systems. The only function of the app currently is for reporting code enforcement issues. We do have meetings coming up in the next couple of weeks to add functionality and features to our app, so we will be improving it. That's it.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and move to the consent calendar. Items considered routine in nature are placed on the consent calendar. They will be considered and voted upon in one vote as one item unless a council member or member of the public requests individual consideration. Item 4-1, approval minutes, regular meeting, April 15th, 2025. 4-2, approval proposal from IGS Services to conduct 2025 refuse rate study. 4-3, approval notice of opposition, SB 634, homelessness, civil and criminal penalties. 4-4, information only, warrant registers, April 3rd, 2025, 2025 through April 16th, 2025. 4-5, information only, investment report for the quarter ended March 31st, 2025. 4-6, information only, cannabis budget analysis. 4-7, approval commercial lease agreement between City of Lemoore and South Valley Community Church. Would any member of council like to pull any of those items?
Yes. 4-3, 4-5, 4-6, and 4-7.
Which items would you not like to pull?
4-1, 4-2, and 4-4, Steve.
Okay.
Would a member of council like to pull any of the couple of remaining items?
You know, just one comment that I'm in concurrence with my fellow lieutenant pulling them, but some of these items are good public information that I just think should be a part of a report. For example, the investment quarterly report. I think that's a good story that we should hear every quarter. And the public sees it as well, rather than us just saying it. Us reading it in our minute, that's all. You know, it's something that's helping us get a balanced budget this year, right? So anyway. Second.
Hold on, guys. Is there anything that a member of the public would like to pull from the remaining consent calendar? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to approve consent calendar items 4-1, 2, 4, and that's it.
Well, no, I thought it was, I thought 5 and 6 were on there too.
No, this is the passing.
Yeah. 1, 2, and
I pulled 7.
yeah.
Yeah.
1, 2, and did you pull 4?
No,
Okay.
How about five?
I
Yeah.
pulled 5.
Oh my
I'll
God.
make the motion
How about six?
to, I pulled them all.
Good, that's what I thought you did.
I'll make the motion for 4-1, 4-2, and 4-4.
Okay. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I
I'll
wanna make
second.
it out that long. So are we pulling 4, 5, and 4, 6?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, why wasn't that in your motion?
No,
This is
are
the
the
pass these.
Oh.
apparently you're new here. Just kidding. Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Brewster, a second by myself. Councilmember Brewster,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyons,
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz,
Yes.
Councilmember Gornick,
I gotta think about it.
Oh.
No, yeah, yes.
and I vote yes as well. Passes 5 in favor.
Who knew Frank was funny?
4-3. Did you have?
Yeah, so well, I kind of started this whole deal on this SB 634. So homeless, they've got more stuff going for homeless stuff. They're trying to make to where cities can't impose any type of civil or criminal penalties on any persons experiencing homelessness in public spaces. So like parks, sidewalks, in front of businesses, all that good stuff. Last week, I sent off a letter of opposition for myself. I believe you sent one off too, right, Mayor?
I did not.
You didn't? No. So it's there's amendments already being made on it. So this letter is also going to help. So it's not dead in the water yet, but it's getting there. For business owners, this is the homeless person laying in front of your door when you get to work. So let your senator, let your assembly person know. And I just wanted to give a little update that that is being amended. So we need to watch the amendments on it. That's it.
Any other comments or concerns from council?
No, glad you're bringing that up. Good.
Any questions, comments, or concerns from the public? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve 4-3.
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion by Councilmember Brewster
Second.
and a second by Councilmember Gornick. Councilmember Brewster,
Yes.
Councilmember Gornick,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyons,
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. Passes 5 in favor. 5-5, investment report. Did you have a specific question? I'll go with you first, Mr. Brewster.
For 4-5, if Jocelyn could just go over the staff report for the public to see.
So we have a total cash investment portfolio book value as of March 31st of 82 million. In our long-term investments managed through US Bank, we have 48 million, 11,000 sitting in our LAIF, 30 million sitting in our short-term investment camp. And our cash time deposits is our Wells Fargo checking account of 2.7 million. With an accrued interest on investments of 460. We continue to do really well as expected with our investments earning on average just over 800,000 a quarter in investment income. So it is staying strong and doing well.
Could you just read for the people in the audience and people who might be listening, could you kind of in a short capsule, just how we started this and how we use those funds, how they benefit each of the funds, where these funds come from, et cetera?
Well, it's certainly earning more than what we were doing before. We have a laddering strategy, ranging anywhere from a year to 5 years for each of our investments, that as we need funds for the future, those funds will be available to us. And as those funds, as we earn interest in them, we are continuously reinvesting those as well. So obviously this gives us more capital for projects and things to occur in each of the funds. We have, I would say, tripled what we were doing before in each of our individual funds. So it gives them much more room to achieve more.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from council? Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve 5-5. 4-5.
I'll make the motion.
I have a motion by Councilmember Brewster,
Second.
a second by Councilmember Cruz. Councilmember Brewster,
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyons,
Yes.
Councilmember Gornick,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. Passes 5 in favor. Item 4-6, cannabis budget analysis.
Uh, yeah. That was impressive charts that you had in the our packet. And it significantly dropped off. So it says an analysis. It's just an analysis of the numbers. It's not an analysis of why. Huh? I mean,
Oh, an analysis of why you said, okay.
no, of why it's so significantly reduced to
Mhm.
what information is offered.
I will tell you that just last week I attended CSMFO, which is the California Society of Municipal Finance Officers chapter meeting, and we spoke about ways to increase our taxes, and this was a topic that was discussed there. The HDL presented during the meeting, and they did give light to, this is an industry trend. It is not just a trend for the city of Lemoore. It is what we saw as a whole. Across the board. 2020 was booming and it spiked for everyone. With everyone being at home, people had nothing else to do at the time.
What are you suggesting?
So sales were through the roof in 2020, but since 2021, it has been trending downwards across the board, not just in our city itself. So they did advise that if you are not already in the cannabis business, then they don't encourage you to get into it, because the cost of doing so far exceeds the revenues that are expected.
You know, I know in the business on the development agreement with them, they had some the ones that we have contracted with, they've had they made some commitments to the community, and are they keeping up with that, or are they falling short of that?
Most of them are following through with their community benefit donation, or I don't remember what the exact term is, but basically contributing money to nonprofits in the area. And a majority of them are doing so.
But is it to the level that they said they would contribute, or?
In most of the agreements, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from council?
So for the cannabis revenue raising fee, is that what is that? Is that
That
like,
is the excise tax of 5% on sales.
and then I know I asked last meeting where the budgeted numbers came from, and it was just numbers given to you guys by.
And I apologize, I was not part of the budget cycle at that
No,
time.
I know.
So I don't know
And
where
now
they
you're having
came
to
up with
answer
those.
for it. I know. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'll leave it at that. I'm good.
Any other questions or comments from council? I'll go ahead and open up to the public. Any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve 4-6.
So move.
A motion by Councilmember Gornick,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember Brewster. Councilmember Gornick,
Aye.
Councilmember Brewster,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyons,
Aye.
Councilmember Cruz,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. Passes 5-0. Item 4-7. Is there a specific question?
Can you just kind of go over it so the people kind of understand what's going on here?
Yes, I'm actually very excited about this item on the agenda. So for several months now, we've been looking at trying to find somebody to open a locally owned coffee shop, which Lemoore currently lacks. And we approached several businesses that have local coffee shops in surrounding communities, and then had the idea to reach out to South Valley Community Church. Many of you know that I think it's Koinonia Church in Hanford runs 111 in downtown Hanford, and they've done it very well, and it's been very successful, and they have amazing coffee. And so the mayor had a contact at South Valley, and we reached out and met with Pastor Ricky there to talk about whether or not South Valley would be interested in opening a local coffee shop. Many of you know they're not just a church, they do a lot of things for the community. And so they were the ones that we thought of. Maybe this is something that they'd be interested in. And so we met and we looked at a few potential locations. The idea was good, but there wasn't really an ideal location until we considered the old City Hall building. That building is beautiful, but it does need some renovations and it's sitting vacant and there's nobody there flushing toilets daily and running water and doing things to keep the building functioning. And so it just sits there deteriorating. And so we went through that building and the representatives that attended from the church loved that building as a location. And so we talked about what that would look like doing a commercial lease to rent that facility from the city, and we negotiated a draft contract. It's gone through our city attorney, it's gone through their attorney. And so we have a tentative agreement that's on the agenda tonight, asking council to approve it. They will do some building renovations as outlined in the agreement. We will do some building renovations as outlined in the agreement. Their plan is really to have a coffee shop on the lower level, which would obviously have public access and be sort of a gathering spot. And then they would rent the upstairs area for professional offices for their staff that wouldn't really have public access. And that's the item that's on the agenda tonight. I know they do have some representatives here. I don't know if they want to talk or if they're just in the audience making sure that you pass it, but they are here if you want to pass it.
They're here to pressure us?
Yeah,
You have any samples?
yeah.
This is another reason why this shouldn't be on the consent agenda. Because this is a good use of our community partners and our facilities, and our community needs to know about it. And if we're going to have a coffee shop, we should advertise and not do it by consent agenda. So.
Well, all you gotta do is pull it. Here it is. I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So.
Any other comments, questions from council?
Are they gonna talk?
Would anybody like to speak on this item?
Oh,
Three.
You know me, my name is Aaron Pearson. I'm one of the members of the executive board at South Valley. I have lived in Hanford, Lemoore for the majority of my life. We moved here. My dad was a minister. We moved here to Hanford in '89. And we are just very excited to be in this community, to have been a part of this community. And we just feel like this is another handshake between you guys and South Valley. And on behalf of Pastor Ricky, who unfortunately was unable to be here this evening, we are just so glad that you guys are considering this, and we're glad that we get to be a part of this community here for the next 100 years.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah.
You even brought your own media, I see.
Yeah.
It's going to be on 10 o'clock news.
Anyone else like to speak on this item?
Yeah.
Anyone from the public or anyone from South Valley?
You have an anticipated date of opening?
Easy.
We gotta pass.
We haven't even
it first,
approved
Frank.
the
So we have,
Don't give them away, Frank.
we as the city have some improvements we need to make to the building. We need to do the roof repair, and there was a previous roof leak, so we have to repair the subfloor and then made some ADA improvements into the building in the back, which if you've noticed just today, I think we repaved the back alleyway to help lead to that. It needed to be done anyway, even if you didn't approve the agreement, but that was done. And so a lot of that work we are able to do in-house, and so it can be done fairly quickly. Our goal is maybe around end of July to have all of the city's items complete. And then I'm not sure what their turnaround time is. They are interested in doing some flooring and some painting. And then of course the kitchen build out where they would do the coffee. And some of those can even run concurrent. So I mean, they could come into the building sooner to be working on those while we're working on the back ADA stuff.
Ms. Willis?
Connie Willis, my comment is, Marissa, you said there was no privately owned coffee shop? is that what you meant? Like, what's Rebecca's?
Sorry, we do have Rebecca.
Thank you.
We don't have a downtown
Thank you.
locally owned coffee
They
shop.
are close to my house, so I just want people to know that we do have one.
Yeah.
And maybe South Valley will give them a run for their money. I don't know, but I just want them to know that they do exist.
Any other comments? I'll bring it back to council for,
Stuart wanted me to ask a question.
oh, sure.
Are you gonna have pastries and things like that?
Yeah, pastries.
So you got cake pops?
Thanks, Frank, for asking that question for me.
Is your vote contingent on that or?
Anyway, let's do it.
My goodness.
Good.
All right, let's bring it back. Is there a motion to approve item 4-7?
I make the motion.
The motion by Councilmember Brewster.
Second.
Wow.
Breeze got you.
We're gonna give that one to Cruz.
All right.
Second by Councilmember Cruz. Councilmember Brewster.
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz.
Yes.
Councilmember Lyons.
Aye.
Councilmember Gornick.
Hi.
And I vote yes as well. So passes 5 in favor.
There you go. Great.
It may be the first vote we've gotten a clap for. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moving on to item 5, public hearings. Item 5-1, public hearing resolution 2025-14, annexing territory tract number 935 to community facilities number 2024-1 as annexation number 1, authorizing the levy of a special tax within the annexed territory and submitting levy of a special tax to qualified electors thereof, and resolution 2025-15, declaring the results of a special annexation election in territory annexed to Community Facilities District number 2024-1, determining the validity of prior proceedings and directing recordings of amended notice of special tax lien for City of Lemoore Community Facilities District number 2024-1, annexation number 1. Whoever wrote that,
So sorry.
thank you. You're presenting today?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Matt?
So this is there's 2 resolutions and it's going to be to annex the very first CFD of tract 935 and to pass the tax. And we have a ballot from the landowner that I'll read today. This is my first public hearing, so I'm not sure. Do I read this first before you declare a public hearing?
You got it.
Yes,
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay, this property is owned by John. Sorry if I say that last name incorrectly. This family trust of John Schlichter. I can't say that correctly. So they are the ones that sent in the ballot. I have not opened it. This is the first time it's being opened.
What was that name again? Like I said,
Well, you'd think I know how to say it because it's very similar to my own last name, but
just teasing. I heard you.
all right. And so the ballot measure does read a vote of yes.
So we'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Is there any comment from council? Any comment, questions, concerns from the public?
And what's on those existing, these parcels now, just?
It's empty.
Undeveloped.
Yeah, it's undeveloped.
This is the new Lennar development that's on 18 3/4, correct?
18 3/4 in Glendale area, yes.
Yeah.
Do you have a comment? If you could come to the podium, just so it's on the record.
I actually live on Glendale, so my question is, the Glendale Road, is it going to be completed all the way through to 18?
Yes.
Okay,
18 3/4, yes.
18 3, okay. I'm just wondering about traffic there because there's a lot of traffic. Usually what happens, people go down Fox, and I actually live on that corner of Fox and Glendale, and there's no stop sign, and I'm seeing numerous people almost get hit and get into accidents because people do not come to a complete stop on the corner. I just want to make the city aware of that perhaps on those T junctions coming into Glendale, there should maybe be stop signs. Because there are absolutely, I've almost seen a couple accidents right there, right in front of my home. Because people just come around the corner. So I didn't know this was going on, so it's kind of big that out
Two comments on, so what's gonna happen on 18 3/4? Is that?
There will be improvements to 18 3/4. This item on the agenda is just to authorize the tax levy for this development to be included in this specific community facilities district.
And in these three parcels, what is planned for those three?
Housing, it's yes.
Are the three separations, is that by phase or?
Okay, I want to find out, what are we planning for now for houses? On those three lots?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, sorry.
What is Lennar planning on those three lots? Do we have any idea?
They're, as far as like the size of the lots,
Yeah, and the size of the homes.
we do have that. I don't have it with me because this item is just to asking to include them in the community facilities district to levy the tax.
I believe it's
That item-
52.
Yeah, that item was already approved by council, but I don't have it handy with me.
We did go over these. That's the ones where we had some members of the public that asked that any houses along this section over here not be 2-story because of their backyards. Do you
Right,
recall that? We did approve it.
yeah, but, okay, well. Again, I just go back to the developers that just want to throw up anything that they want up there, small house.
I'll go ahead and close the public hearing.
So I'm assuming it would be a part of that same development that's there? No,
It was a separate agreement, if I'm correct, right?
What was that?
This was a separate development, different agreement than the initial Lennar.
I'm not sure.
There were 3 phases, so
phase, so we just got done talking about the second phase, okay?
Mhm.
And so this is the third phase. Okay,
Mhm.
and it's a continuation of the same.
housing,
development, I
yeah.
guess.
So that was already approved. This item is just asking to include this subdivision in the community facilities district, which allows us to levy the tax to fund that
The fund.
district.
That makes sense. Okay,
Can you put the staff report so we can word it correctly? Okay, I have to read all that again. I'm looking for,
No. You just
Okay.
need, okay, I make a motion
there you go.
to approve resolution 2025-14
second,
And 2025-15.
and 15 amended.
Thank you.
so.
We have a motion by Councilmember Lyons and a second by Councilmember Gornick. Councilmember Lyons,
Aye.
Councilmember Gornick,
All right,
Councilmember Brewster,
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. Passes 5 in favor.
Thank you.
We have no new business. Thank you so much. We'll go ahead and move on to city council reports and requests. Councilmember Brewster.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple weeks ago, Mayor and I went to Sacramento for the City Leaders Summit. It was my first time there for that type of event, and it was definitely interesting. I know everybody's gonna be shocked, but the state says they got no money. And that they're broke and everything. So we still have our priorities. We still put our priorities out. I will give it to Mayor. Mayor is very well known in Sacramento, so she's definitely done her work. Oh, everybody knew you. They didn't know me. Also, I attended the Lemoore Volunteer Fire Department golf tournament last week. Attempted to play golf, didn't do very well. Jocelyn, very good job on the budget. I know I got crazy random questions every once in a while, but you do very well. One thing I do want to get consensus on is bringing the cannabis ordinance stuff up for a study session for us to look at it and reevaluate. Do I have
Is there a
consensus?
consensus for that? Just show me a nod or a thumbs up or something.
Yeah, I'd like to do that too, particularly in relation to the ag ordinances that would affect some of that.
So you have consensus.
Did you catch what I was asking? Okay. And especially with the potential of it going northbound. So with that, I am good.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Lyons.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you again to Mrs. Gaunt. That lady's been a part of my life for a very long time. And I would also like to say, Jocelyn, thank you for your presentation. I'm not gonna, I'm trying to think of how to say this. You put it in terms that I could understand.
Pictures.
Yes, colorful ones. Yeah.
He liked the Crayolas too.
I like the
Pictures.
Yes, thank you very much. And that goes for all of our city staff. Everybody's seems to be kind of just clipping away right now. And I just talked with Bobby Wharton. Oh, that's right. Hold on. I do have one thing from the Commission on Aging. Give me 1 second, please. She made sure she said, oh, please let everybody know that the food bank in Armona tomorrow is having an event from 9 a.m. till noon. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Cruz.
I want to thank the city staff for all their hard work, exemplary work as always. The sense of volunteerism in Lemoore is truly remarkable. So thank you so much, Mrs. Gott. Truly appreciate you. And that was a great partnership with South Valley Community Church. Thank you so much, City Manager, for working on that. I look forward to that being rehabbed and reestablished. Likewise, I also commend Ms. Valdez for that budget. I know budget is always fun for the lack of a better term, right? It's very tedious. And thank you for creating such a balanced budget for us. That's all I have, man. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Gornick.
Yeah, a couple things. Mrs. Gaunt, thank you for personally investing in our community all these times and putting up with our colleague over all these years. And our friends at South Valley Church, thank you for partnering with us. We hope that it's a great addition to the community. That should be kind of fun. And Jocelyn, you did a great job with the budget. And City Manager, also want to thank you and the staff. Looks like we're on track to maybe get a budget that comes into black, which we haven't been able to do for a long time. So that's good. The other thing I want to say is I had the pleasure of sitting in for the mayor at the grand opening with some of the staff of Mavericks, a new food and gas truck stop here in town. Yeah, it's a great job, great staff, a lot of fun. And looks like they're off to a really good start. So that's it.
Thank you. I also want to thank PG&E. They don't get thanks very often, but I do thank them for stepping up and filling that need for our city. So I want to appreciate and thank them. Also, Ms. Gaunt, thank you so much for your community spirit and willing to donate and be a part of everything that makes Lemoore great. I think it's people like you that make our community so special. And just thank you for reaching out and having that conversation with the city manager and making things happen. Thank you so much for that. Also want to thank our clerk for all that she does. I know she got a proclamation, but she truly does do a lot for the community, for council, So I just wanted to thank her as well as our public works. We all know everything that they do for us, and we our trash wouldn't get picked up. We couldn't flush our toilets. We couldn't get a drink of water. There's so many things that we depend on them for. So thank you, Public Works Department, for everything that you do daily, even after hours. Also, at the risk of Jocelyn getting a big head, thank you so much for that presentation. I know this is your first budget as the director. Thank you. I want to reiterate my colleagues' comments that very easy to understand. Thank you for all the work that you put in, and the rest of staff that also had a hand in that as well. I just wanted to speak on the Easter egg hunt. It was kind of spoke about earlier, but I want to give kudos to the rec department for another successful event, and to all the community partners that donated and went above and beyond. Thank you. And thank you to the community for coming out and supporting. And since South Valley is here, I just want to thank you guys for the 12,000 egg donation that was very generous and definitely put us over the top. I was a little concerned going into that week that we would have enough eggs, but thank you and all of the community partners that came and donated. And yes, Rotary did blow council's 3,363, I think, eggs that we did. We're going to blow them away next year. I'm not giving any numbers, but just it's on. So I'm very competitive, and I'll drag my council along with me. But I'm already getting prepared. Again, I attended the Cal Cities Leadership Summit with Councilmember Brewster. We were able to meet with Senator Hurtado and Assemblywoman Macedo. We attended lots of sessions, learned some things, and attended a lot of networking events, which is where you get those relationships and build that connection to people from other communities, staff, and electeds, and help grow our city and learn what we are doing right and how we can do things better. The KCAO meeting, I did miss last month's meeting due to being in Sacramento, but they recently had a ribbon cutting for the Sunrise Apartments on 7th Street. That will have 22 rooms available for those in need of housing. They will have a groundbreaking this Friday for the Clay Center renovation. Also, they have a fundraiser event. It's called Arts for Change. That fundraiser will benefit the Barbara Seville Shelter. That's on May 16th. If anybody's interested in participating in that event, tickets are $60, and you can find them on their social media or website. I also want to mention that the next food distribution for KCAO and Lemoore College is May 12th, and that will be at Lemoore College. I also attended the Lemoore Volunteer Fire Department golf tournament. I did not golf. I was a volunteer. Chief could tell you nobody wants to see me golf. I just wanted to thank the Volunteer Fire Department for everything that they do, but also their continued effort in supporting and continuing to support the Burn Center with this fundraiser. Let's see, LABCO, that commission that I sit on, had the Hanford annexations, kind of their county islands that were annexed into the city. Those were all approved. I did attend the Special City Selection Committee for the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District to appoint the new air board member for small cities. And that representative was Jose Rodriguez, who is a Madera City Council member. He replaced Mayor Alvaro Preciado from Avenel. He termed out his 6 years being on the board. So Mr. Rodriguez will be replacing him on that board. Today, I attended the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District Citizen Advisory Committee meeting. And just to update, CARB did give notice that they would only be participating quarterly due to the amount of, quote, disrespect they receive from CAC members. I voiced that disagreement and advocacy doesn't always equal disrespect. Assemblywoman Macedo's district director was present and assured the CAC that Assemblywoman Macedo would be made aware of the circumstances. Also, CAC gave consensus to write a letter expressing our concerns regarding the disengagement and of communication from CARB and the importance of working with the CAC and the entities that we represent. The CAC is made up of city representatives, environmental representatives, and ag industry representatives in the North San Joaquin Valley, Central San Joaquin Valley, and South San Joaquin Valley. So it's a pretty important group of people that CARB is disengaging from. I was able to be fortunate to check out the paving of D Street. Thank you, Crystal, for taking me on that field trip. It was very interesting to watch and learn that process. So I appreciate that. Thank you. I also attended the K-9 Awards in Clovis and presented certificates on behalf of the city to the award winners and also those that were in the running. Just want to remind everyone that Coffee and Community is tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. at the Rec Center. And then the city manager and myself will be meeting with Assemblywoman Macedo's field rep this week. Also, Kings Lions Brewfest is this Saturday. If you haven't got your tickets and are interested in attending, please check that out. I'll be attending my first Kings County Water Commission meeting later this month, so it'll be interesting to see what that's all about, a new commission that I was appointed to. And also was asked to speak at the Kings Lions Family Night later this month. So that's what I've been doing and have coming up. So with that, we'll go ahead and go into closed session. We have one item, Government Code Section 54957.6, conference with labor negotiator, agency designated representatives, Christina D. Smith, city attorney, and Marissa Trejo, city manager, employee organizations, General Association of Service Employees, Lemoore Police Officers Association, Lemoore Police Sergeants Unit, Police Professional Services Bargaining Unit. So with that, we'll go ahead and adjourn into closed session. Thank you.